Hello and welcome again to Mzansi. We are back with the story of Senzo Meyiwa. I'll put it like that. There are many players in the story. Obviously, bear with us, and we might not go through all of them because some of them we deem them as people who are just adding some content. But we are going to look at things that are very important in the story, and we are going to stick on those things. Emily, before you greet our people, let me remind them, please subscribe and share our videos, and also communicate with us. We are there on the communications down there in your comments. You will find us there most of the time if you feel otherwise about what we are saying, and that's the point of this. Emily, greet our people and let us roll.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. We are back again for another review on Senzo Meyiwa's case, the documentary that's currently on Netflix. We are on episode 2, which is Side Chicks. But before we get into it, Mr. Anonymous, let me put a disclaimer out, okay? This is not a personal attack on anybody. We are commenting on a documentary.
That's it.
That's it.
Done.
So now this episode, because it's called Side Chick, obviously it's centered around Kelly Khumalo. A lot of this episode is delving deeper into Kelly Khumalo, the person.
Yeah.
Kelly Khumalo, and also what she had to say. They play longer recordings from the theater where she was giving her side of the story. I think it was for the very first time that she came out in public and tried to tell us the events that were happening, and she was performing.
Yeah.
So yeah, they played the longer recording, and it's revealing another contradiction.
Yeah, it does.
It's revealing another where she says that she was pushing the door. She and Senzo were walking out.
We're about to go.
Okay, she said we are about to go.
So I would assume we were going out. Like, all of a sudden, when we are at maybe close to it or somewhere, someone just pushes the door. Boom. And then two guys. She managed to see two guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she ran to Zandi's bedroom, her sister's bedroom. And as she was pushing the door, the other guy was also pushing the door, and wanting to get in.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, Kelly Khumalo, being selfless, she remembered, I've got babies here. I've got kids here in this house. So let me just open for this guy so that I can be able to see my kids in case maybe something happens. This is how I would look at it, because that's what I heard when I was watching this episode.
Yeah.
So now she's in the mix. That means she's no longer excluded because the door now has been opened. Now she's also in the mix of seeing almost everything that is happening in the house. As that is happening, she gives a bit of information that Senzo came to Kelly, running.
He ran into my arms.
Yeah. And then that's when she realized that Senzo was shot.
Yes.
But while also giving that, she goes further and say, my son saw all this.
The very same son that she didn't want Amanda Steenkamp.
Yes, the very same son that she protected. Okay, I understand. You might have been protecting the son. Then I have a question, Emily. If I'm going to say, Emily could see what is happening when someone got in my house and could see everything that was happening, aren't I also in the position of seeing everything that is happening?
You are also in that position, aren't you?
Yes.
Everyone who is in the incident can see what is happening.
What is happening?
Yes.
Now, I have a question. Why is it that Kelly Khumalo did not notice that Senzo is being shot at until the blood and everything in the chest? Because if you're saying my son was seeing everything that was happening, that means you saw Senzo getting shot. You also saw Senzo getting shot. Then why are you narrating the story and saying, no, when he ran into my arms, I realized that he was shot?
You are trying to not see, or you're trying to eliminate that you saw that how he was shot, who shot him. That part of the information, I think it's what's missing from Kelly Khumalo. In
And
my
then you
opinion.
go further and deny someone who can actually give an addition to your evidence,
Yeah.
which is your sign.
Yeah. You deny them the ability or the opportunity to point out who pulled the trigger.
Number 2, Kelly Khumalo says she was about to go, but Tumelo is saying otherwise.
Tumelo says they were stuck at Kelly's house.
Yes.
They were stuck.
Yes.
He used those words. Stuck.
So when they were about to go, where were they going? Because according to Musa, Senzo
His
called.
friend.
Yes. Senzo called and said, I'm coming with Kelly Khumalo. And then Musa said, no, we don't want Rao here.
Yes.
Go drop Kelly Khumalo and you'll come back. And then Senzo said, okay, it's fine. I'll go kiss a baby, a goodbye kiss,
Yeah.
a good night kiss, and then I'll come back. My worry is that while all this is happening, Kelly is in the car. Because if Senzo says, I'm gonna take Kelly to her house, and then I'll kiss a baby goodnight kiss. All this information, Senzo is still in the car with Kelly Khumalo.
So you are saying that when Musa was saying that Kelly Khumalo was in the car, so he heard.
She could have had that conversation, and I was wondering what was her take on that conversation. Because according to Kelly, again, and the reason I'm bringing this, according to Kelly, again, Senzo, from where Kelly was performing, Senzo didn't want to go anywhere else but be with
her
on that day.
But according to the friends.
According to 2 friends.
Yeah.
One, Tumelo, who was in the house, is saying we were stuck, but being stuck, it means you want to go.
You want to go somewhere, but you can't. You know, you are stuck. You Senzo needed to make up some excuse to say, I'll see you tomorrow.
And then Musa is also aligning with that in saying that we told Senzo to go and drop Kelly and then come back. Because
and at this time, reports are saying that Senzo wanted to make peace with Mandisa.
Yes. That is what we are gathering. That is my problem. I have a huge problem with that because the information that is given there, it has loopholes.
Too much loopholes.
But there are 2 people against 1 people. One person has a total different statement in saying that no one was going anywhere.
Yes.
After that performance, we had to go to my house and we normally go there for dinner and
for lunch.
And then that's it. We chill there. But Tumelo saying that no, we were supposed to go, but for some weird reason we couldn't go. We couldn't.
They wanted to go to the Orlando Pirates party organized.
Further to that, Tumelo is even saying that I would believe that Mandisa was calling because he was waiting for Senzo.
What? So all of this, Kelly Khumalo was unaware. We're going to take it like that.
But how? Musa is saying when Senzo was in a car with Kelly, he said, we are coming there. So Kelly couldn't hear that conversation. And at the time, I would assume that Kelly would have, he knew about Mandisa. She knew about Mandisa already at the time.
Yeah, she had already known about Mandisa. She found out about Mandisa on one particular day when she was driving on the highway, and there was this car following her. And when she got out and asked
in
why,
fact, it was not just following her; it wanted to knock her out,
to push her out of the road. And then that's when Mandisa started fighting with Kelly Khumalo and calling her a home wrecker and stuff.
Yeah. Do I believe that? The story sounds too good, and this is where the problem is. This story seems to drive a certain narrative that is kind of existing now. I think we're still going to go to that, but where we now bring Mandisa into action.
Yes.
But Emily, I have, based on 2 episodes, why I would kick Mandisa out of everything is because Mandisa was not on the scene. On top of not being on the scene, he didn't have control of evidence. He couldn't have washed the blood of Senzo. He couldn't have, for some weird reason, the cartridge couldn't have disappeared. Do you understand? So, as much as people say Mandisa had more to gain as a wife,
More motive
in terms of finances, I agree finances were there, but I still do not believe that if you are my side chick and I'm for some weird reason something happened to me in front of you, and then all of a sudden you decide to clean your house.
For someone who believes that Mandisa did it, why would you clean the house?
Because you would want Mandisa
Why would
to
you
pay
have?
for
Yes,
what
you'd
it did.
want them to pay, to face the law. You wouldn't want to interfere in any way
No.
with the police
No.
finding out
No.
what had happened.
It wouldn't take you roughly 2 hours before you even take Senzo to hospital, because the first thing that you would think of is, let me take Senzo to hospital.
Try to save him.
Hence I said at some point, 5 minute max, Senzo could have been at hospital. Not after 2 hours. Not after, because that 2 hours to me is buying time for you to call in favors. To say, hey, I've done 1, 2, 3, or something 1, 2, 3 has happened. So can you guys tell me what I need to do? And the person that you probably would call is a person of also interest in a sense, because there's someone there in that house that is also going to be kind of implicated in everything. So I have a problem with that. Yes, Mandisa smiled, and I will explain it according to me why
Yes,
Mandisa
everybody
smiled.
is pressed about her smiling at the PSL conference.
Yeah, I would explain according to me why Mandisa smiled and
Why
why
was
it makes
Mandisa
sense.
speaking, smiling like
why
that?
it makes sense for me to actually have Mandisa smiling. That is my I'll give my 2 cents on that.
Give your 2 cents.
So, according to me, Mandisa was shocked. Obviously,
But she fainted.
she fainted.
After the nurse announced
Which now
at the hospital.
Do you understand? Which now makes a bit more sense. She fainted, and then she dealt with it. People deal with things differently. She dealt with it, and then when it was time for funeral, everything was like kind of stable. I'm not gonna break down now.
So
I'm
from
not
my
gonna break
understanding with people that grieve differently is usually the ones who are traumatized at the hearing of the news. By the time of the funeral, they really
They still, like most of them,
over.
they are also, like, I think at the time of the funeral, still she didn't believe that the Senzo is there. And in terms of finances, when they were announced, 1, there are cameras. 2, you are not a star. You are not
Not a
used to cameras being in front of you. So you must show a kind of a brave face. So, and what excites you is that no matter what had happened with your husband, but he remembered to actually
include the
the
children.
children and everything. So you are kind of excited about that.
You are relieved
You are
that
relieved.
at least kuna something yana
Yeah,
eshelingani.
you are relieved. Now, going back to Kelly. Kelly refused with cars.
Yes.
For someone who repeatedly said, I'm a spiritual person and I'm a cultural person,
Yes.
shouldn't it had been clear to Kelly, 1, that I cannot use Senzo's belongings as a person who has passed away? You are Zulu, for that matter, and you understand correct everything. You have your own car, but still you are using some of Senzo's cars, right?
Yes.
So why do you find it difficult to actually take Senzo's things and without being convinced by a
She
friend?
said she wanted them to acknowledge her.
How can you be acknowledged as a girlfriend?
Side chick.
How? Senzo is married. How are you supposed to be acknowledged as a girlfriend?
We don't know.
And wait, I'm not done for a second. The reporter is saying that Kelly Khumalo, on the 4th day of Senzo's passing,
Yes.
was at that complex of Albertine or something like that.
Malbertine.
He was that complex for the whole day.
Yes.
Aren't you afraid of being alone after such an incident and Senzo is still not buried? Don't you think it's the right thing to be with your family and be together with your family?
We grieve different
So you would rather grieve and go to the house that you guys shared?
and be reminded of everything.
As a again, I'm coming on the side of spiritual and cultural. We
Yes.
respect them.
do.
We respect people who are God. We make sure that we don't move around more. So if they've been part of us, we mourn those people.
Yes.
And part of mourning is actually more so as a girlfriend and someone who's got a child. You're supposed to sit still. Don't be driving in a car and go to complexes
And be by yourself
and
the
be by
whole
yourself
day.
the whole day.
And then when the family asks you for his belongings, you refuse. You still have that energy.
This is where the story of people that explain Kelly Khumalo comes into play. Kelly Khumalo is that kind of a person who's got anger issues. That's what they said.
Bonsai.
It's not
said
only
that.
it's not only
The former manager.
only the former manager. You start with the former manager. We go to Baga the Nyang.
Yeah.
From Ubaga now he's saying Kelly Khumalo uyashesha ukudinwa, which is
She has a short temper.
temper. And then you go also to Musa explaining him the same way, vengeful.
Yeah. Yeah, she did even say
She takes a
with
vengeance,
Nimrod
and she also said it, Nimrod,
that she gets very angry. She doesn't want people to make her angry. When she's angry,
and it doesn't end, right?
It doesn't
until
end.
she wins. That's
Yes.
basically what everything summarizes to.
don't mess with
Don't mess
me.
with me.
Yeah, that's the language that she used
So-
to describe herself.
A person like that, do you think a person like that would have been moving out with Senzo to go to a party after hearing that Mandisa is there?
I don't see it happening.
We don't see it
In
happening.
my opinion.
Yeah.
If
So-
I was in that position, there's no party that Senzo would be going to.
So
In my honest opinion. I'm not saying that Kelly did that, but
So it's-
in my.
it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. It doesn't make sense to me how all these loopholes are not looked at. I'm not part of.
The police or
Police.
anything, but
But-
wow.
There are many loopholes. First and foremost, what I would like to if I was investigating, I would keep Tumelo in a sort of a
Separate
room,
interrogation
and
room.
I would ask Tumelo to explain this whole process of how
What
the intruder
happened.
came in and what happened and where was Tumelo at the time. Where was he sitting? Because he was kind of stuck. So where was he sitting? And I'll come back to Kelly Khumalo, explain your whole story until leading to people coming into your house. And then those stories, and then go to Zand, go to Longwe. At some point, you're bound to get something. Come on, people. Today, we have a case where about 5 people are implicated.
Yeah.
But yet, there's only 2 people that got in a house.
in the house. But now people are going to trial at 5.
Yep. The Sangoma that was beaten.
There's a Sangoma.
Isn't Sangoma?
nearby.
Sangoma is in position to give more information, even though they were not there. Because when you come and cleanse, you must say what you're cleansing for, and so that they can be specific. In a sense that if it happens that someone passed away in your hand, or you'd say,
But you don't usually ask for a cleansing 5 hours after the incident. You
yeah,
wait
that's what I'm
after
trying to
the
say.
funeral.
That's what I'm trying to
right?
say. Isangoma has more information because you're gonna come and say, no, I have killed so and so, and then the cleansing is gonna be specific for that.
For that.
For that, and then if you say, I think I have someone died in my hands, and then the cleansing is gonna be for that.
Specifically
So,
for that.
but many people die in people's hands. You don't need cleansing for that.
I also found that strange. The Sangoma, within 5 hours, the Sangoma said that she was not aware of what had happened. She only saw the following day after she had cleansed them.
That person has more information. Where is that person? Why is she beaten?
She was beaten
Why
by
is she beaten by
people
the
who
so-called
came in
police?
wearing police uniform. They beat her up and they left her in the middle of nowhere. And they
Again,
said,
now
don't become a witness.
I'm trying to look at this thing in a different way, but still, to me, it looks one way. If it was Mandisa, do you think Mandisa is that powerful, guys?
Wow.
To actually go and beat the Sangoma that
With police.
The girlfriend of my husband went to cleanse on, and I'll go beat that Sangoma so that why?
Accompanied with the police.
Why?
Mandisa is that powerful that she can hire the police to go threaten someone.
Yeah. It's got loopholes, but I feel like the power. If you look in terms of the power, who's got more power between Mandisa and Kaylee? Who's well known? Who's well connected? Who's got people on her corner?
Yes.
It's Kaylee.
It is. It is Kelly Khumalo who's more connected, more known. We are not saying that she sent the police, but obviously she's connected to more powerful people who could possibly make that happen.
And I also believe that if such thing can happen to Isangoma, what about Dumel?
Oh.
What about Dumel?
And Tumelo was there.
What about Dumel?
Tumelo
Because
saw
honestly
everything.
speaking, Storisa Dumel is very short, and I would like to get more detail to that guy. That guy should give us more.
But if they
story.
can do that to a Sangoma, then what are they going to do to Tumelo? What would they be possibly have threatened to do?
Which goes back though to that story of the hawks being in that scene. There must be someone very powerful. There must be someone very powerful. Well, maybe the intruders were powerful.
Maybe they were that powerful. They were sent by the powerful person.
Or maybe they were not sent. Maybe they just happened to know right people. Because we still have that option of saying this was a robbery gone wrong.
A robbery gone wrong, guys. That's the narrative.
I don't know. Guys, what do you think on your side? I think from our side, this is episode 2, and that's how episode 2 actually, basically, in a nutshell, was. It's all about Kelly,
Yes.
and if you listen
Background
attentively,
and
you would actually pick up those contradicting statements that are given in the story, and those are the ones that we are working with also.
Yeah, we are picking out contradictions. The whole point of this is not to tell the entire story, but it's to pick up the stuff that don't make sense.
Episode 2, done and dusted.
Done and dusted. We are going to episode 3 now. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Bye-bye.